Hey, it's 4:30 in the morning. I have to document this. My dog um stopped breathing again. Um I have to catch my initial reaction. A few nights ago, we rushed our dog to the vet, emergency 24-hour vet because he stopped breathing and his heart had stopped, and I had to do mouth-to-mouth resuscitation on my dog, and I was praying and we were crying, and I believe that it was a miracle. So I'll put a link in the description below. I feel weird for saying that because I'm not trying to entertain you. I'm just trying to document this. And even as I tell you that I'm about to tell you the story of what just happened, it just happened again. Part of my brain feels like I'm like a liar right now, like I'm making this up, like I'm going crazy. But I have nothing to benefit or nothing to gain, okay? So, my wife and I, for the past 48 hours, while our dog, who's a 12-year-old Lhasa Apso dog, he's a special needs dog, while the dog's sleeping, we've been taking turns each night, waking up every 15 minutes and checking on the dog. We love our dog, right? And tonight was my turn. I was completely exhausted from running my business. And I mean, I fell asleep out cold for at least a couple hours. And I was supposed to keep waking up, but I didn't. So here's what happened. And it happened just like the other night. I was out cold sleeping, and all of a sudden my body broke out into pure dripping sweat, and I went like that, like ripped the covers off me as though like a siren went off. I mean, dude, I was pulled out of my sleep, and I turned and I jumped down to my dog and put my hand on him. I'm like, oh my God, it's happened again. The dog's not breathing. This time I had caught him sooner because the last time, I don't even know how the dog is alive right now. I'll put a link in the description below the video. The dog last time was like, his whole body was already becoming stiff, as if, I'm not a veterinarian, right? As if he had been like that for an hour. This time, it's like he had just stopped breathing. So this time, I know this sounds a little cruel, but just to confirm that I'm not crazy, I had put my hand on the dog, on his lungs, on his chest. Now, I don't know if I could feel a heartbeat this time or not, but the dog's body was still warm, but it was completely limp. And I grabbed the dog and I held his hand up. I shook him, no response. I grabbed the dog's snout and I put it to my ear. I put his mouth directly to my eardrum. No breathing, nothing. I go, honey, 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 wake up, honey, to my wife. It happened again, he's not breathing, he's not breathing. And she goes, whoa, 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 what's going on, what's going on? And I don't, my wife wasn't alarmed at all. She, as though he was just sleeping. I think it's like a defense mechanism or something, but it made me, I felt like, oh my God, am I crazy right now? Maybe she's right and I'm crazy. So this is what I did. I know this is cruel, but I had to do this. First, I started pressing on the dog's chest and compressing. Like it's almost like you see like a dead animal and you're poking him with the stick to see that he's dead. But I had to do this for my own sanity. I started doing compressions on the dog's lungs. He didn't wake up. The dog didn't move. He wasn't breathing. Then I grabbed his face and I put his snout to my ear again and put my hand on his lungs. And now I waited. I went 1, 2. I was listening for the slightest of breath. I went 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. About 9 seconds. Not a single shallow microscopic breath. I'm like, so a million things run through your mind in this moment. And I know I could compress this entire video down to 60 seconds, but you have to feel what I felt. So like a bunch of things ran through my mind. This is it. The dog is really going to die now. This is it. The dog's not going to make it for sure. And it's over. There's no point in trying to resuscitate the dog. He really is dead. And I did it anyways. So I grabbed the dog and I did mouth to mouth and I blew in his lungs, and the lungs were completely collapsed and the lungs popped open and filled with air, right? And even after I did the first mouth to mouth, okay, you pressing it, the dog still didn't wake up and he still wasn't breathing. After you do mouth to mouth and chest compressions on a dog, the dog would jump up. Like, that's probably traumatizing to a dog. I don't know, right? I put my hand, still he's not breathing on his own, not a single breath, limp body. So now I start doing compressions on the dog and I blow in his lungs again. And the second time I blow into his lungs, he goes, and the dog starts breathing again. And now I'm like freaking out and I'm compressing the sides of the dog. And I think I blew in his mouth a third time. Wait. No, that was the other night. So this time I just kept doing compressions on him because he started breathing on his own. And I kept compressing and then he started breathing on his own. This is where I feel like I'm going crazy. I'm not throwing my wife under the bus. It's probably a defense mechanism because she can't handle it. I feel like I'm crazy right now. My wife goes, "Stop it. You're jumping to conclusions, Keith." And I go, "What? Are you kidding me? The dog wasn't breathing. I waited. And now it's like I'm acting frantic. And my wife's cool as a cucumber telling me I'm jumping to conclusions. And so I went and I sat on the couch. I'm like dripping in sweat. I'm looking on my phone. Can a dog go for long periods while sleeping without breathing? And I even called the vet, and the vet gave me this like kind of like they're trying to come up with an answer. I'm like, dude, I'm crazy. I'm straight up crazy right now. How did this just happen? So this is what I said to my wife. And I said, "Honey, I know this sounds very cruel, but next time this happens, I'm going to wake you up and I'm going to stand there and you're going to get down on the floor and you're going to," and I don't mean this in a mean way. I don't mean this in a mean way. "And I want you to confirm that the dog's not breathing, and I want you to give a mouth to mouth. Because I'm not trying to be egotistical here. And I just want her to see that I don't know. I feel like it's weird. I'm in this weird position, like if the dog passes, that it's not going to be my fault, but I could literally be responsible because now that I know that my dog's life is on a shoestring right now. And if it's his time to pass, then that's okay. I'll let him pass. But for the sake of my wife, because she loves this dog so much, I'll do anything." And but I'm not going to sit here feeling like I'm crazy. But it really, really bothers me that she doesn't believe it. And it's okay, because it's probably her, it's a defense mechanism. I don't know. Should I? Let me know. Should I stand there while the dog's not breathing or possibly dying and wake my wife up and turn on the lights and have her confirm? I bought a stethoscope online. We're buying a heart rate monitor. I'm sorry for keeping you so long. I just threw on my work shirt because I was out doing quotes like almost in the dark last night, and I'm like in my boxer shorts right now in the basement, and it's like now 4:45 a.m. So that's my question: is can a dog go just stop breathing while he's sleeping and not die? Remember, I told you I blew the dog's lungs up and did compressions on him, and he still didn't breathe. That doesn't happen unless you're unconscious. And that doesn't happen. Because now my dog is sleeping in the bed. He took my spot, which is great. I'll sleep on. I love my dog. If I even go up and touch my dog while he's sleeping, just touch him, he goes. You know what I'm talking? I feel like I'm going nuts, dude. I would never make this up. I'd never make this up. All right. Okay, I just wanted to document that.